In the last TesLUCKY video, I drove Lucky the Model X to Key West just to get the tires rotated, and I ended up in a green Jeep that was multiplying spare tires in the back. It was a crazy tire day, and now I'm here to tell you the whole story. Welcome back to TesLUCKY, the YouTube channel where you can follow the adventures of Lucky, the 2016 Tesla Model X, and Karma, the 2024 Tesla Model Y. Today, we are talking about tires again. Let me tell you, I'm just a girl with a Tesla who's learned more about tires in the last 6 years than I did in my entire life leading up to Tesla ownership. Tesla tires are a thing, and there's so much to learn. So we're gonna talk about my crazy tire day, which was February 6th of 2025. I've got a lot of notes because there's details and costs, and I want to get everything conveyed to you in a reasonably concise manner, and there's a lot to share. And on this crazy tire day, I did learn something else new about that maintenance summary feature that just came down with the 2024 holiday update, so we're going to get to that at the end. But let's start from the beginning of crazy tire day. The night before the tire rotation, I put some air in the back left tire, which was a routine habit that I was having to do once or twice a week ever since we had a flat tire in Lucky and my husband plugged the tire. I'm going to share some more details about that in this video as well. When I left the house, the tires were good. When I arrived at Key's Automotive Sales and Service in Key West for the tire rotation, I had a PSI of 39 on the back left tire and 37 on all of the other tires. And then I'm just on my computer going about my business, waiting for them to do the tire rotation, when they came to inform me that I had a flat tire. There was a screw in the back left tire, the same one that had been plugged, and they showed me using that little spray with the soap in it that it was bubbling up and there was a pretty fast leak. The guys at the service center also showed me that there was some wear and tear on the outsides of both rear tires, and I was so proud to say, I know what that is. That's negative camber. They were probably like, why is this lady so excited about negative camber? The story about how I learned about negative camber is featured in our video posted on March 31st, 2024, Tesla Cybertruck's Model Y demo drives and negative camber. Oh my, that was an oh my day for sure. And I do also want to say how incredibly fortunate I was that day that I did not have a flat tire that left me stranded on the side of the road, that I discovered about the flat tire when I was at a tire replacement shop where they have the lifts and the means to just fix it and take care of it right there. In the past, I did have a very interesting saga on a road trip. They have a whole video devoted to that day. Not every tire shop, especially in rural markets, they don't have the exact tires in stock that are required for the Model X. They're two different sizes, but in this particular case, I had 4 spare tires in the garage at home. So I just said to them, hey, if you guys can get me a loaner vehicle, I can be back in about 2 hours with 2 back tires that you can replace, and then we didn't have to order any new tires. So that was what we set out to do. Get the tires from home, get the back 2 tires replaced. Easy peasy, right? No, this is crazy tire story day, not easy peasy tire story day. So they gave me a really awesome green Jeep loaner, and off I went back to Big Pine Key to collect those 2 tires. And interestingly enough, these tires are stored in kind of a unique way in our garage. My husband has them kind of like mounted to the ceiling with these like wood shelved contraption sort of thing, and they're high up. These tires are big and heavy, and I could only get one of the 2 tires down because they were just like wedged in, and even like standing on a ladder and pushing and pulling. I FaceTime with my husband. He's like, get a stick. I did all these things. I could only get one tire down, and I wanted to replace both of the back tires so that they would have the same tread and the same amount of miles on them. So I texted a neighbor and waited a little bit, didn't hear back, and I kind of gave up on this, replaced both of the back tires, and I started driving to Key West. So I got about halfway to Key West when the neighbor called, and they were home and they were willing to help me try to get the second tire down. So I turned around, went back home, and our neighbor was much, much stronger than me, and he was able to push that tire down, and boom, now I had both of the replacement tires in the car and drove back to Key West. So I just couldn't believe that it wasn't, easier to retrieve those two tires. So the bill from Keys Automotive Sales and Service was $163.67. Here's the breakdown of the expenses. Mount and balance owner provided tires. Those were the two Sumi tires from the road trip that we bought in Virginia. That was $130. Four-wheel tire rotation, discounted 50%, was $15. And then shop supplies, $7.25, and tax, $11.42. There was no tire disposal fee because I took those two tires home with me because I wanted to see if my husband could plug that tire again. So let me share a couple details about that successful tire plugging that my husband did. We had that flat tire at Carly's school on April 13th of 2024. So we had that flat tire with only 2,227 miles on that particular new tire. And so my husband's very successful plugging of that tire meant that we were able to drive it 11,016 miles further. And he has since replugged it from the screw, and we don't know if it'll hold air, but we're going to save the tire just in case to have in the garage for circumstances like this. Now, with Lucky, we only do local driving, so I'm never more than 35 miles from home, and it would always be easy to retrieve these tires if need be. So now let's talk a little bit about the tire rotation and the maintenance summary. The back tires that were removed that day had 13,243 miles on them. So now we're in a situation where the back tires and the front tires are going to have different tread, different mileage on them. So I have a crazy math formula now to keep track of how many miles are on the back tires. I have to look at the life of the tires, which we currently have set as a trip odometer. I really wish that there was a way to integrate that into the maintenance summary in the MCU of the vehicles now. But here's what I have to remember for the back tires. Life of the tires minus 13,243, which was the mileage that when they came off, plus 8,331 miles. So actually, to shorten that equation, life of the tires minus 4,912 miles. The last thing I want to mention about this crazy tire day is that I was trying to make sure that I did not forget that I was going to have to go into the new maintenance summary feature and hit reset on the tire rotation, because as we discussed in the last video, there's no way to do that retroactively. So I did that like immediately following the appointment, and I was shocked to see that it had already been updated. And this is a brand new Tesla feature, and there are more Teslas in the Florida Keys than ever, but that doesn't mean that there's a lot of Teslas going through this shop. Not anywhere like a big market like, Miami. It's, I was like, how did the guys know that they had to do that? And I was wondering, like, maybe it was like automated somehow. I was, just very, very confused about the fact that it automatically updated. So I actually actually called Tesla and asked them this question and 2 other questions relating to maintenance summary, and we are going to cover those maintenance summary kind of continuation learnings in our next video. So please click the bell for notifications, and safe travels to you in whatever you drive. Thanks for watching this TesLUCKY video all the way to the end.